And the righteous people just have to come out of the muddied and bloodied waters. And I was talking about the things that are heartening and encouraging about people. About in 2008, over 90% of the American people didn't hardly understand anything about economics, but they understand enough about capitalist economics to know that that wasn't right. Okay, that they knew that this was fishy business. This was a scam. Even if they believed they were going to lose in that equation of not bailing out these banksters, they knew that it was better for the overall picture, the family of Americans, of humanity, because America influences and affects everything all over the world. So they knew it. So that's a plus on the side of the American people getting it together and figuring it out. But there's not enough outcry. Where there's not enough discussion now about revisiting it. I hear a few people throwing out, "Oh, well, we got to reinstate Glass-Steagall." Like I said, that ship sailed, man. No, 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 no. That's done. The damage is done from that. Bill Clinton, thank you, the biggest traitor in American history, in my estimation. Sorry, Bill Clinton. You're forgivable. I'm sure that God will accept you if you repent. But you know what you did. You were great help to the Cloward and Piven strategy of impoverishing people. A lot of houses were stolen in these foreclosures. I know what happened. I'm college educated, real estate and economics. I know a lot about this stuff. I've read the books. I'm very interested in the subject, so I know what you did. I know that pretty much what you did caused the 2008 bailout. Okay, the lag period, because that get green lighted all these banksters to just act recklessly and dump all this money. They socialized the debt, they privatized the profits, or ill-gotten gains, really, is what they did. They stole America underhandedly, subjugated labor, created poverty, created this far greater soaring wealth imbalance, wealth disparity. They did it. So we need to talk about revisiting 2008 and say, no, let's go back there as a point in time. So as much as I like guys like Jerome Corsi, I respect a lot of these conservative, straight guys like that. I mean, the Roger Stones out there. If I think somebody's for real, they're righteous, they're sincere, genuine, good Americans, egalitarian, lovers of Jesus, they're biblically based in their foundational belief systems, are sound. But we can all be off track. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I know everything. I'm always on track. I just don't even talk about stuff I don't much about, like Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Okay, I know some about health, but I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. You need to go, you have your own physician and check you out. But I mean, I know just look up, where they live the longest in the world, the kind of stuff they're eating. They're eating foods rich in iodine, for example. Fish, a lot of fish-based diets. So, to give that kind of advice, it's just, hey, well, do your own research. Look for yourself. I've taken health science, and my family has been in the health food business for a long time. I'm very knowledgeable, a lot of stuff. I don't know a lot of particulars. I couldn't recite minimum daily values of this vitamin or that mineral. Okay, I couldn't do that. But I have an overall picture. You have to know your own body. Everybody's individual. And so a lot of it is mind over matter, and a lot of it is, some of it's conscience. I mean, if you don't want to work in a slaughterhouse, you probably ought to not eat meat, because, it seems hypocritical if you're not willing to do it. Sort of like believing in capital punishment, but not being willing to be the guy that pulls the switch. But, of course I digress. But, of course, it's all related somehow here. And, but I don't give advice on stuff I don't know. But stuff I do know, then I feel qualified to give at least a modicum of advice, at least where I see it's not being talked about on these high platforms with these very intellectual people I respect and admire very much. And I know they're honest and righteous people, but they can be wrong. But I can comment on this. And I know for damn sure that having a willing workforce is what is going to allow us to do everything. Everything we've ever accomplished as a family, as a species, has been done at the hand of God. God allowed this to happen. It's Him, at the end of the day, that is the wherewithal. So our source is clear. And we don't owe it to the people that profess capitalism. These people have to, they have to be exposed. And that's what I do. These are crony capitalists. These are liars and cheaters and thieves. These are basically fascists. These are people that will do anything to get their way. They're spoiled brats, as far as I'm concerned. They don't care about the majority of people. So they're willing to impoverish the masses so they can get ahead. In California, the mass is already impoverished. The vast majority of Californians now, they can't afford to buy a home, and their hopes keep getting less and less and less. I'm not blaming Trump. This is something that's got legs. This is something that's been going on for a long time. It's got, it's momentum, right? It's like a train on a track. It's going to take a long time for Trump to even stop it, much less turn it around, because now there's all these political interests that they don't want it to turn around. It's a conflict of interest to turn it around. I mean, if you're a landlord, you don't want to hear that housing got affordable. All of a sudden, you got to lower your rents, and people start, you start having to really compete to get those rental dollars for your tenants, right? And people start being able to buy houses again. So you see, you understand how controversial this is and how radical this idea of being a good American and being egalitarian, believing in economic equality, at least going that direction and working that direction as much as we can, not through socialism and the Robin Hood theory of taking from the haves to give to the have-nots, but simply by sound economic policies, which create sound currency, which means it's going to go up in worth, which you're going to see progress according to law of supply and demand, free market capitalism. And that's how we're going to gradually extricate ourselves from this mess. And nobody has to worry about it, really. I mean, they've been trained to believe they have to worry about that. And that's what I don't like. I don't like anyone to think they're going to get hurt by Trump's policies any more than they were going to get hurt by JFK's policies. But, so you've got to understand, as long as there's a willing workforce, you can have whatever you want. So, it's just, we can't all be landlords, okay? And there's going to be some that, like the early comers, they're going to get hurt. They're going to be caught holding the bag. They're going to lose their butts if this thing successfully turns around, if Trump is allowed to succeed. And a lot of this has to do with God's will and the right timing. Evidently, God allowed JFK to be killed, or he could have prevented it. So it wasn't the right time. But is this the right time in history? When God is putting his foot down, he's saying, no, this is it, man. I'm sorry. The jig is up. The gig is up. The game is up. The scam is up. The scheme is up. The sands in the hourglass are just about trickled through, and we're going to turn this wealth imbalance around. Not by taking from those wealthy to give to the, redistribution. No, not that way. That's forced. It doesn't work. It's wrong. Okay, it's immoral. It's unethical and all that. Okay, what we're going to do, we're just going to allow the have-nots to have. It's that simple through sound economic policy. So, you can excoriate me for believing in a minimum guaranteed income, but I say, look, that's on you. If you don't believe in that, that's fine. I'm a Christian. I believe that in sharing, I believe there's more than one way to skin the cat and just, frustrate the plans of the wicked. Okay, but as long as we have a willing workforce to do all the work, that's very important. We don't want society to break down. But there's no excuse for society going the opposite direction of what I'm talking about for so long. Oh, well, we just got to make them more hungry. We got to make people more poor because they stop wanting to work. They won't work anymore. We can't get them to serve. So, no, it's not like that at all. This is satanic. It's just maddening. And all the people that support the direction we've been going are evil in my mind. Ungodly, unholy, un-American, unrighteous, evil, even if they don't know it. I mean, that's it. If you want to prescribe to this current establishment, the direction, this trajectory we're on, I'm sorry, you're on the highway to hell. You're off course. You're off track. Okay, you've missed the mark. That, you're going to be one of those ones when Jesus comes, he says, you know what, you're calling on my name now, but, you've honored me with your lips only, but your heart was far from me. You served money. You loved money and the things of this world more than you loved me. I can't accept you. You're one of those weeds that's going to be thrown in the furnace and burned up. You're going to Dante's Inferno hell and the fire and brimstone and stuff. I'm sorry. But you can't serve two masters. You've got to get it. God didn't invent money. He's not the one charging you a cost of living. That's a tax on your very existence. Who has a right to do that? It's unholy. It's ungodly. It's evil. It's satanic. And that's what I mean. Think way outside the box and understand we've got to extricate ourselves from the thinking. Our thought system is fundamentally fouled up, man. We're misbelieving. Our opinions are all askew. We have no idea how good this thing could work. All those jobs that people judge, well, who would do that job if there was no need for money, if everybody was born rich with a silver spoon in their mouth? That's not your problem, because we'll invent machines that'll do those jobs then. Then we'll build stuff so it doesn't break, and the mechanics are free to take a cruise, right? because we all know, hey, well, the car makers know, hey, if we don't build stuff to break occasionally, and they're not going to buy new cars. You understand? It's called planned obsolescence. It's all the science of marketing and consumerism. That's the